Elliot Rodger was consumed by rejection. He blamed women. He blamed the world. And on May 23, 2014, he turned that rage into one of America's most infamous attacks. At 5, Elliot's family relocates to Woodland Hills, California, a wealthy area in America. Elliot was surrounded by privilege. His father worked as a filmmaker, and his mother came from a wealthy family, so they did all right. From the outside, everything is perfect for him. He goes to private school, he has financial security, his parents are connected to powerful industries. But Elliot was a bit of an outcast. He didn't fit in. He was bullied throughout his early years. Home was not stable either. His parents divorced when he was young, and he moved between households, never quite feeling settled. He was also diagnosed with pervasive developmental disorder. But Elliot resisted this by not taking medication or going to therapy. So instead of adapting to the world, he began resenting it. But here's where things get interesting. As he gets older, he becomes obsessed with hierarchy, appearance, designer clothes, expensive cars, and social ranking. He began believing that you were born with value instead of it being earned. In his mind, he thought he was entitled to this. In 2009, he graduated. He was ready for college. But college was not about education for Elliot. No. It was about losing his virginity and proving that he does matter. Once he goes to college, this is when things turn. He enrolls in a college in LA. He drops classes, not because of grades, but because of rejection. He likes a girl in his class, but then finds out she has a boyfriend. This reinforces the belief that the world is unfairly treating him. So he takes his anger to online spaces, where he vents about women rejecting him. One night, he watches a film about teens hooking up in Santa Barbara. He gets an incredible idea. I'll move there, and then I will lose my virginity, and people will recognize I am the epitome of supreme hierarchy. So he asks his parents, and they say, sure. So now he arrives in Santa Barbara, and it's the day of his first lecture. He makes this grand entrance. Armani jacket, Gucci glasses, carefully styled, believing that heads would turn and think, wow, he looks amazing. Let's have sex. But no one cares. They pay him no interest whatsoever, and this absolutely infuriates Elliot. Weeks later, he decides to walk through the neighborhood. He watches people socialize, couples holding hands, and this further enrages him. This is where his frustrations are set to reality. So one day, he decides to lash out at the real world. He goes to Starbucks, but he sees a couple being all lovey-dovey, and this really makes him mad. So he decides to pour hot coffee over them. But that's not all. When he's out and about, he decides to get a water gun, put orange juice in it, and squirt it at people in groups. He also starts yelling at people for being happy. He's down and out, but he decides to give it one last go by attending a college party. He attends alone, getting drunk beforehand so he can work up the confidence to talk to women. But he quickly gets angry about the fact that he's still not getting any attention, so he deliberately bumps into a guy talking to a woman. He then goes outside and insults a group of women, and then tries to shove them from the ledge. The guys see this and intervene, and they push him off the ledge. As he lands, he fractures his ankle. He's disoriented and loses his Gucci glasses, and he tries to get back in to get them, but ends up entering the wrong house. He must have been very drunk at this point. The people at that party confront him, and they end up beating him up. His parents know there's something wrong, so they try therapy and social coaching. None of this works. They even buy him a luxury BMW, hoping that this would restore his confidence. So now, he's really mad, and he starts plotting for something big. He goes out and buys some guns and some knives. So, his big day was his day of retribution. He was in his apartment in Isla Vista. Phase 1 of his plan starts by stabbing his 2 roommates and one of their friends. He then got into his car and drove to get a Starbucks because, he likes lattes. And then uploads a video basically saying how life is unfair while he sits in a luxury BMW, but whatever. He then drives to a sorority house. He tries to get in, but no one lets him in. This enraged Elliot, so he gets into his car, gets out a gun, and starts firing at people walking nearby. 3 women were hit. 2 of them died, and 1 survived. He then decides to drive and shoots at a nearby store, which unfortunately unalives a young man inside. But then the rampage continues, and he drives through the streets of Isla Vista and fires at people from his car, and more people are hit by the gunfire. And that's not all. He also uses his car as a weapon and hits people with his car, causing many more injuries. Police finally catch up to him, and then they get into a shootout. He tries to drive away, but he has crashed. The car stops. The police run up to the car, and they already find him dead. He had shot himself while driving the car. Before unaliving himself, 6 people were killed that night. 14 others were injured.